Uganda's reliance on traditional biomass continues to drain incomes, drive deforestation, and silently deteriorate public health. Against this backdrop, the Government of Uganda, through the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, has elevated clean cooking to a strategic national priority. This documentary spotlights the Uganda-UK eCooking Scale and Support Program, a landmark partnership driving system-wide transformative impact. The program is implemented through 3 core partners: the Modern Energy Cooking Services, MEX, the Global Green Growth Institute, GGGI, and iClay Africa, with vital support from national delivery partners.
So the time you spend on the cooking is so little, and you're saving your environment and you're saving your life.
About half of the deaths that happen worldwide happens because of indoor air pollution. So if we are cooking with charcoal inside a house, that is quite a lot of the reduced life days that people have. So it's very important from the health perspective.
This kind of cooking.
To address this, the Electric Cooking Scale and Support Program was launched. The program operates across 7 core components: establishment of the Clean Cooking Unit in the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, expanding access in informal settlements, a national e-cooking skills development program, behavioral change campaigns, building a sustainable supply chain, developing a standards and labeling program, and an institutional electric cooking program. A central milestone was establishing the Clean Cooking Unit to operationalize the National Integrated Clean Cooking Strategy.
So the UK committed £5 million, and the goal is to help Uganda to accelerate the clean cooking transition. And our focus as the UK is really on modern energy cooking services, particularly electric cooking. Because honestly, clean cooking doesn't fail because of technology. It fails because the system around it isn't working. In Uganda, electricity is expanding, but people are still cooking using charcoal and firewood. And so just introducing appliances doesn't change the behavior.
Broadly, you want to be balancing 3 core things to deliver a just transition. Number 1 is the enabling environment. So ensuring that you have coherent policies, you have well-backed regulations and standards, you have the right institutional frameworks and mechanisms. The other important pillar is the supply side. The third pillar that is very important is the consumer demand. So the CCU, in that regard, is really a central coordination platform of government balancing the 3 pillars, ensuring that they are working concurrently and coherently, so that we bring together all the actors, the development partners, the private sector, civil society, government, to ensure that we have a common structured whole of government approach to deliver our target.
To operationalize these 3 pillars, the program divides its key deliverables among its core partners. Through GGGI, MEX, and iClay Africa, targeted interventions are mapped directly across the enabling environment, supply, and demand landscapes.
Policies are quite important, and regulations. They give clarity to the different stakeholders on what the rules of the games and what the incentives are for different stakeholders. So when you think about the different stakeholders in clean cooking, we have the users, we have the government, we have the private sector. So that policy framework is paramount, especially if we really want to scale up the use of clean cooking in Uganda.
Uganda is implementing a mixed school feeding policy where cooking in schools is being done. However, over 98% of schools still rely on firewood and charcoal.
In collaboration with the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, MEX is working to understand how school cooking transitions can scale in the best way possible. It's about understanding what it actually takes for schools to transition in real-world conditions. At the center of this is a national schools electric cooking pilot across about 120 schools, which is the largest of its kind globally. The standards and labeling work is absolutely foundational to scaling clean cooking in Uganda because it addresses one of the biggest barriers in the market, which is trust. So what the standards do is set clear nationally recognized requirements for safety, performance, efficiency for key electric cooking appliances.
The program had a unique blend of electrical engineers and artisans who are well known within communities to bridge the gap of access to repair and maintenance services. These trained technicians provide geographical coverage across 25 urban districts. The program has gone ahead to ensure sustainability by integrating this into the TVET curriculum and tracking each of the trained technicians into the national database.
The significance of kickstarting the process of curriculum development is to ensure that this program is institutionalized into the TVET system, the National Vocational Training System, which will help in ensuring that the services which are being offered by the technicians are of high quality and are standardized.
This accessible training has empowered users to understand the simplicity of these appliances, encouraging more women to learn and adopt the technology.
The skills I got, they have helped me to get more money. For instance, I had some electrical works that I was doing, but I've been able to start up a perfume business as another part-time job because of this. So electrical appliances help me to sustain there as well. I sustain also the equipment. I'm proud to be part of the program because it has helped me a lot.
With repair networks established, the next challenge is public perception.
We've been successful. We've reached about 53 districts across the country. We've directly interacted with over 99,000 people. Indirected through the different forum, billboards, radios, we've reached over 28 million Ugandans. The campaign was backed by different segments in communities. We've worked with cultural institutions, religious institutions, because they still have a voice over their subjects. We've held campaigns with schools. We've had learners participate in the cooking, where students have actually competed in cooking. So we used all these groups to be agents of change.
The media is a key partner in this transition. Through targeted training, journalists are now equipped to communicate the benefits of clean cooking effectively.
Nze nga munnamawulire okusinziira nti ebintu ebimu we nali nga sinaba kufuna training eno nange nali mbiraba mu ngeri ndala. Misconceptions zino eno nga bwe tulabye nti abantu balowoozanga edda pressure cooker egenda kwokya, pressure cooker ate ejjiisa era ate bwe twalinga tulowooza ate byanjawulo. So buli muntu yandibyetanidde kubanga bituyamba mu bulamu bwaffe obwa bulijjo. Osobola okuba nga olina ekintu ekirala ky'okola ng'otaddeko akamere kwali ku pressure cooker. Okuva twafuna training eno nkakasiza ddala nti nsobola okureportinga oba okuwandiika emboozi ezikwatagana n'okufumbisa amasannyalaze n'omuntu omulala n'asobola okitegeera.
No smoke, no cough, kyusove kumanda n'enku engeri z'okufumba nnyingi endala ate nga ziyisa mangu.
Awareness creates demand, but physical accessibility bridges the gap. To ensure the transition reaches the urban poor, the program established localized hubs directly within informal settlements.
Enactus as a project is supporting local Ugandan small and medium enterprises to be able to expand their market reach within urban informal settlements, specifically those within the greater Kampala metropolitan area. The distribution hubs are very critical because, one, they serve as a trust point. So when you have physical presence within the informal communities, the communities are able to develop more trust for the product. And so these hubs act as a central kitchen for people to come and see how these different technologies work.
The last mile delivery model, implemented by iClay Africa in slums and underserved communities in Kampala, demonstrated that adoption of clean cooking in low-income communities is possible with non-conventional delivery models.
eClay has trained over 100 local government officials on this project. We have established hubs which have managed to reach over 10,000 households. As of date, we have already surpassed the target of the 6,000 households. And what we have learned on this project is that as long-term sustainability depends more on capacity and ownership.
The program, through iClay Africa, working with local government authorities, targeted the greater Kampala metropolitan area, where electricity access is highest, yet charcoal consumption remains among the highest in the country.
Before that capacity building, we are with very scanty information on how the country is transiting into clean energy via clean cooking. But through those build-up workshops, we had one in Kisenyi and another one in Kororo. They have really helped us to appreciate that the world is transiting into clean cooking. When the private people were here, when they did the clinic, the town hall never charged. And we allowed them to do the drives in the whole municipality. Because when the partners are accountable to each other, we have a sustainable way of achieving, and that's what's happening.
Yet, local companies faced a severe roadblock, the crushing cost of capital to import appliances. To fix this, the project engineered a financial breakthrough.
This trust fund will enable us to accelerate the shift from biomass to cleaner cooking technologies, therefore reducing deforestation and indoor air pollution. Commercial lending rates are averaging 21%, making scale-up extremely difficult. Therefore, this trust fund will offer concessional rates at about 14%, which is critical to reduce the cost of working capital, giving companies room to grow, innovate, and reinvest in their businesses.
An RBF which takes 3 months to 6 months to be paid, it breaks down the business. And I think that the trust fund will help us to address just that challenge. We have seen the uptake of PEGO, it has skyrocketed in the communities, mainly the informal settlements in Kampala.
When policy, standards, market access, and finance align, the ecosystem works. And at the heart of it all are the everyday households whose lives are changing.
Ekinyabulire pressure cooker lwinali omala eddakiika emu ng'okuma essigiri ate nga lwo bakasitoma abakwetaaga. Naye kati wali oteeka mu pressure cooker n'obikkako walina okola ku kasitoma wo. Biri nga bikola ki? Bijja kubanga bimala eddakiika 3. N'ojjamu nga naye bw'okola ku kasitoma wo ate nno n'okola ki bw'ofumba. Kibanja mpola ennyambyeko saalisobodde kugigula pressure cooker ku $35,000 buli lunaku suula 2,200 n'esobola osasula wiiki $1,000. Senga tebadde kibanja mpola saalisobodde kugigula.
Ebirungi mwebiri kubanga nasevingako ku kigambo kyaki ky'omukka muli nali nga
gunkuba nnyo. Fumbiramu ebintu nga bya mirundi 4 olunaku lumu. Ate nga okusinziira mu ssaawa ze mbyagaliramu. Kati kibanja mpola yanyanguyiramuko olw'ensonga zino sente z'awamu bwe bagitunda ng'ogijjayo nali sizisobola. Naye kati kibanja mpola omutwalo ogwo gwe baŋŋamba per week gunyanguyira okuba nga nkola ki nga nkusobola bulungi ne nguwaayo nange ate ne savings.
Efumbayo obe mulamu atolye bulungi olemena kulwala mawukwe. Switch over to this style of clean cooking. Gas, masanyalaze, many other methods. Chusa, efumbayo lelo. Switch over to clean cooking.
The foundation is laid, the market is activated. By translating policy into coordinated action, Uganda is not just changing how it cooks, it is building a system designed to last.
I think this phase has been an opportunity for us to institutionalize the coordination platform, the Clean Cooking Unit, and now what we are looking at is now to scale it up at a national level to ensure that the government ambition is brought to the realization.
We want to improve from about 1.5 to 2% to 18 to 20% adoption to electric cooking. And we think this is quite ambitious but achievable if we continue doing the right things.
Switch over to this style of clean cooking. Gas, masanyalaze, many other methods. Chusa, efumbayo lelo. Switch over to clean cooking lelo. Chusa, efumbayo lelo. Switch over.
This bilateral program was delivered under the leadership of the Government of Uganda through the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development with funding from the UK government. Implementation was spearheaded by the Global Green Growth Institute, Modern Energy Cooking Services, and iClay Africa, working alongside dedicated national delivery partners, including the Uganda National Bureau of Standards, the National Renewable Energy Platform, the Center for Research in Energy and Energy Conservation, Equity Bank Uganda, and the Uganda National Alliance on Clean Cooking.
Dirty cooking, change now.